Welcome to Fit Plus Tech. Uh, Today I'm going to show you how to put together a Raspberry Pi for OctoPi. I'm using OctoPi for printing and for creating time lapse. I'm still learning. I haven't quite got it lined up the way I'd like so that the time lapse look good, but I'm working on it. But I was able to put together, you see my little Raspberry Pi here. I've got to straighten up all these wires, but I put that together, and I've got my camera on the camera mount that I printed, and in this next couple minutes, you're going to see me putting this together, and then we'll do an OctoPi, just an overview of the software itself. But I find this is a lot easier. I started by taking the little SD card. When I first started printing on my printer, I was taking the SD card out of here, taking it to my computer, which is over there, going into Cura. There's all kinds of slicers, that slicer software, but I use Cura. Going into Cura, slicing it, and then putting it back in here, and then going and using the little control panel over here to go. So now I have the software, so I can sit there and, I'm only a few feet away from it, so it's kind of moot if it, it's in the same room, but it makes it a lot easier to take it out to maybe put it in here. Instead, I can just go into my software that's on my browser and add whatever I'd like to add. Okay, so keep watching because
So I'm going to do a real quick unboxing of the kit that I bought on Amazon. It was $99. You can get Raspberry Pis for cheaper without all of the pieces. This is an entire kit, so it comes with the board, comes with the case, comes with the power supply, comes with everything. But you can also just buy the board and a separate power. There's many different ways that you can buy, but I decided to just go for the kit, and that was $99, the Labis Pi 4B kit. That was the itty bitty baby board that I just showed you. I have actually built full-on computers since the early 2000s, so I'm pretty comfortable with this stuff, but it did take me just a little bit to figure it out. Okay, so there's a little quick start guide, which I used a lot, just to get a feel. And this is the case that comes with it. You can also print a 3D Raspberry Pi case. There's tons of them on Thingiverse that you can do. And that's the I/O ports where you can plug in your USB and everything. Once you get the board plugged in there, that is the SD card slot that you use after you load up the operating system, which is just basically a tiny little Pi OS. Uh, okay, so this is the micro HDMI to HDMI that you can use to connect your Pi to a display, a TV or something or other, whatever you want to connect it to, that will take micro to regular HDMI. This is the power supply. Uh, yeah, believe it is a USB-C to remind me. Sorry for the blurry, guys. I'm not very good at I have to do better with that. There you go. Haha. Okay, so that's the USB-C. And then that's the on-off switch. And the little fan that you connect to it. There you go. We used to have to do all that stuff still have to, when building a regular computer. And they give you this super duper cute magnetic tipped Phillips screwdriver. Uh, oh, of course I can't. Oh, heat sinks. Those are the heat sinks. Okay, 3 little heat sinks to put on there. And that's what you can use to plug into the USB-C, and you can stick the card in. This is a 32 gig SD card that comes with it that has a Raspberry Pi OS on it. If you're just going to use the Raspberry Pi part, I'm going to be installing Octoprint on it. I call it an OctoPi because it's um, Octoprint on a Pi, so that's not quite the correct, OctoPi is not quite the correct term. I'll try to adjust that. And I'm showing you the cables. Okay, now we've got the board out of the box. Everything's out, ready to go. Taking a look at the guide to get a feel for what I need to put on there. And the first thing, once you've got the board, I put it on top of something so there would be no issues. It's on top of the actual box. But we're going to put the heat sinks on first. And it comes with 3 heat sinks that have a little sticky on the back. Um, I lined them up because I was trying to figure out which one matches with which. Basically, you can just look at the 3 things that you need to connect it to. I'll put up a little picture up here on the right hand side so you know exactly where they go. But I'm about to show you in like a minute. In just a few seconds. Yep, there we go. And don't mind the camera angle. I've got to get better at this. My fat old lady hands are kind of blocking the way, but after I've set them down and I back up, you'll be able to see exactly where I positioned them. And the guide is really good about showing you where. So just follow what the guide says, or the book says. So you put the 3 there. Shall I let it go? Okay. That drove me crazy for a little bit because that was crickety. All right. Just being quiet for a second so you guys can see. Just take the little sticker off and push it on there gently. You don't want to bend the board or anything. Although they're pretty secure. There's a sticker up close with my blurriness. I think I had to adjust one of these after I put it together because it's just a smidge off. That was making me nuts. Okay, and then just gently press down on it so it doesn't come loose. All right, so this part, okay, so there's the case, and the case comes with 2 sets of screws. The black screws are for the standoffs to connect the motherboard to the case. And then the silver screws are to screw in the little fan. See, there's the little black screws. There's these little standoffs in there inside the case. So you're going to take the board and you're going to line them up on the standoffs. And I wasn't able to do it the first time, so you're going to see me doing that, trying to get them lined up, and I wound up taking it back out. Okay. There's going to be some kind of interesting cuts here and there because I'm trying to make it not too long a video. Okay, so you had to do it again. just, I think that of all the things I had to do on this, this was the most challenging, and it wasn't really that difficult. You see the little yellow circle that's on the top left over there? You want to match the little holes, the little yellow, the holes with the yellow circles around them, to the standoffs, so that you can connect the board, secure the board to the case. And I think I had to do this twice. And I left it in here just so you could kind of see that, that's, see, I'm trying to get it screwed in there and it doesn't want to work with me. Let's see, I take it back out. Yeah, see how I'm taking it back out. Yeah, I definitely did that. And like I said, I left it in just so you could see. I mean, it might take a little adjusting, and that's okay. It's not, it's not an issue. But you definitely want to make sure that you line up the standoffs with those holes that have the yellow around them, or green, or whatever you want to call that. So I finally was able to get the board connected properly. Woohoo! Really, it does not take long to put this together. It's just, I would say less than 15 minutes. Maybe even less than 10 minutes. I might actually speed up some of this stuff. We shall see. Okay, so connecting the board with the black screws that comes with the kit. Challenged. It did not want to stay connected. How many times did I do that? 4 times? I'll have to figure out how, when I'm going to do builds like this, how to set up the camera so that you can see the more interesting part and not the back of my hand. Okay. Almost finished here. We need to put in the fan and stuff. Hey, yay, woohoo! Wait, oh, they give you an extra screw. So that's kind of nice because I tend to drop stuff on the rug. I think I've mentioned that before. Bought myself one of those magnetic wands for picking up stuff that's on the ground. That falls into the rug. Little bitty screws like this that you have to deal with. Okay, so now I am going to be putting the fan in. Now at this point, if you bought the camera module, there's a little camera that can come with these. You have to buy it separately. There's another little section underneath the fan, and that's where you would put the Pi camera module. I'm connecting a USB webcam to my OctoPi or Octoprint or whatever you want to call it. So I didn't buy the Pi camera module, but you would be putting that little module underneath where the fan is. See that little thing with the hole there? You would put that in, and it has like a ribbon cable, and you would connect that ribbon cable to the board. But since I am not going to be using the Pi Cam, I don't need to do that. But just for those of you who may say, well, I'm going to be using a Pi Cam. Yeah, you just put it in there, and then you connect the ribbon cable to the board. And it shouldn't be any problem at all. Okay. Almost done with screwing that stuff in. Okay, and the next bit, it's usually a challenge for me when I'm building a new machine, but is trying to figure out where the little uh, things go on the ports, because it's itty bitty. So that took me a little bit to figure out, but I finally got it. See there, those little And that's what makes the fan run. The fan spin. I may have cut off part here. So that's that. All right, and then connect the two things together. All right, there you go. That's one Raspberry Pi built. Okay, stay tuned for the next video is going to be installing Octoprint onto the SD card and setting it up so that you can start printing. And for those of you who are interested in Octolabs, I'll be doing something about that as well. So stay tuned. Coming soon. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like.